Hello and welcome to the latest This is the Music Meets podcast. I'm delighted to be joined by the Malakites, an indie rock and roll band from Cardiff in Wales, a band that we at This is the Music have described as being a band that are ready for the biggest of stages. The Malakites, welcome aboard to the This is the Music Meets podcast.
What's
How are you?
happening? You all good?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Obviously recording this on Monday evening. Obviously the Queen's funeral and everything. So yeah, a bit of a sad day in many respects, but I guess from also nice as well to have a bit of a chilled out day as
Yeah,
well.
very chilled. Yeah.
So obviously just to kick us off, can you just introduce yourself and obviously what your role is within the band, and yeah, and obviously I know that it's just yourself here. Obviously, the other lads aren't here tonight, but
Yeah.
yeah, just introduce them as well.
Yeah, sounds. Yeah, my name's Weber. I'm the front man. I write the tunes. That's my role in the band. Unfortunately, my lead guitarist can be here today. His name's Teabag. Great nickname. Rizzo, our bass player. Rizzo, our bass
Brilliant.
player. And then we got Ashley, our drummer, who's the newest member to the band. We've been going for about 4 years, I'd say, something like that. But this lineup, not including the drummer, I'd probably say, I don't know, it always changes. I think like no one likes us, so we just like they just get scared. I don't know. I don't know, mate, to be honest. But yeah, that's us. Indie rock
Right,
and roll band from Cardiff, South Wales.
cool, happy days. So where obviously then did you get the name from, the Malachites?
Just so long, I can't remember. I think we were called the Young Faces first, which is just a rip off of the Small Faces.
Hmm.
Um, and that was we had that for quite a bit, and then we were called the Cables for about a week. Thank God we don't. Thank God we're not called the Cables anymore. If there is any bands called the Cables, still a sick name, I guess. But Malachites, I'm not sure. I don't really can't remember too much, but I remember like me not liking me. I didn't like it at first. Like, oh, shocking. Then our old drummer said, "But think about it, mate. What about other Welsh bands like the Manic?" So I'm like, all right, it's all right then. So we just stuck with it, to be fair. And I think, what 2 years of us using that name, I think I said, should we just change it to the Kites? But then we never ended up doing it. And I think it's good that we've stuck with like the Malakites because I think there's probably a few bands out there called the Kites. So I
Yeah,
think it's yeah, it's I prefer the Malakites. Stuck with me. So
yeah, sure. And I mean, I'm guessing with a nickname like with Teabag, I'm guessing
yeah.
he's potentially the practical joker in the band. Is that
Um
fair to say?
not really to be honest. He's actually French, so his full name's Thibaut.
Right.
Um
Okay.
yeah, and I've known him since I was like 4. We went like literally went nursery together, went primary together, high school. Been playing music with each other for years, so we're like the founding members, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I think he's probably the most responsible in the band. I would say, to be completely honest with you. Um, I think me and Ashley are probably like, I don't know. Yeah, I won't blame anyone else. I think I am the most irresponsible person in the band, I'd say. But that is what it is. All frontmans, I guess.
Definitely, absolutely. So, obviously, as you know, here at This Is the Music, we like to sort of champion new and upcoming bands like yourselves. So, sort of in like the last, I guess like 12 months or so, really. Have there been any bands or maybe like a solo artist that you're, like really digging at all?
Ooh, yeah. Obviously at the minute, I think everyone's just obsessed with Fontaines. To be honest,
Yeah.
I ages ago, like when I think was it that album that was called My Hero's Death? Was it like
Uh,
I think it was an album as well? Yeah, and there's
yeah.
obviously the
Yeah.
title track that came out, and I listened to that and I liked it. But this new one, Skinty Fear, it's class, man. It's proper. Um, but yeah, there's a few bands go. There's a solo artist called Dylan John Thomas from Scotland.
Yeah.
He's ace. I really like him. He's class. But there's so many, man, at the minute. I think it's because of lockdown, which is a great thing. Because like I remember saying before, like it's not a lot of bands really doing what we do. And then like after lockdown, people are just picking the guitars up, learning it. They learned in the lockdown probably, and they're probably better than me at guitar. And yeah, it's great, man. There's so many artists about, especially in Cardiff. There's a good music scene going on in Cardiff at the minute. There always has been, I think, to
Yeah.
be completely honest. But it's finally nice to be a part of that. because when we first started when we were 15, remember us looking at bands and thinking, I want to play them venues, I want to do this, and then we do gigs of them now, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great, man. It's great. But there's loads of artists about at the minute.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. I agree. There is this good, it's a really exciting time at the moment. I think for for
yeah,
indie, British guitar bands, and long may it continue as well. Really.
100%, 100%.
So obviously, your most recent single was back in May, which was obviously only sometimes, which is an absolute belter, by the way.
Thank you very
Um,
much.
for those that haven't heard it yet, sort of can you give them maybe some like bit of background about the song, and
Um,
sort of like how it came about?
yeah, well, I won't actually lie to you. I was sat on my sofa in my living room and I had the chords. It didn't really have the sort of strumming pattern that it does have, Clash. Um,
Yeah,
it had a sort of different like strumming pattern to it. And our dog was in front of me, and I just started like singing something about my dog, like having a little bit of a mess around. That's like where the melody came from. And I think I was just jumping around with words and writing like random stuff down. I sent it to the lads and they loved it. And then we played an acoustic thing at Shine On last November.
yeah,
It was a wicked lineup. And then our lead guitarist left early. He left early. So I was just sat in the room by myself, and I probably had about 10 cup of teas. Um, and I actually sat down and properly wrote it, and recorded bits and was changing bits. And I came back and they were like, "Oh, that sounds a lot better." And
yeah,
then we went into the studio around April, recorded it, then released it in May. But I think, I don't know, we got so many songs, and we've always said, "Oh, let's record that one, let's record that one." But then when I wrote that, the rest of the band was like, "No, that's our next release." So
yeah.
that's what happens. That's what happened. It was great. It was a great fun time recording that one as well. It was very fun. A lot of experimentation going on as well.
Yeah, I mean, you saying there that you recorded it in April and then released it in May. So I mean, that
Mm,
sounds quite fast to me anyway. Like
mm.
judging on what other bands are doing,
Oh yeah.
is that kind of like the sort of usual way that you guys like to try and work? Like, do it, it's done, we're happy with it, and then release it. Rather than hanging on to it for sort of 2-3 months type.
Well, we've held on to a song for about 6 months before.
Right.
Um, and to think we held on for 6 months and we didn't have any sort of like promotion or anything for it, it's just
Yeah.
awful. But I think we were already sort of like doing the promotion thing for it before we even recorded it, if that makes any sense. And we knew
Yeah.
it was going to be ace recording because we recorded it with a guy called Sanders, who works in a studio called Kings Road Studios.
Yeah.
One day we'll be back there. And we just know he's ace. We know what he does. I met him a few times before, so we just knew it was going to be a good sounding record. So yeah, I think we had a sort of good promotion thing for that as well. Like we put it everywhere. Like we released it. We had like a good like sort of build up to it, and then we had a headline show like literally a month later on the
Right.
same day. And that was like a little single launch show, I guess you could say, and that
Yeah.
turned out amazing.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's interesting there that you're saying you've worked with Sanders. I've heard a lot of good things about him.
Yeah,
From
he's
a
awesome.
band from Colombia. I'm not sure if you're
I
familiar
we played a
with them.
show with them the other week with this feeling. Yeah, they're sick, man. They're really
Yeah,
good.
yeah, Clark. Yeah, really like them. So it's nice to hear that there's another band that are endorsing in him, and obviously the studio as well that he uses. So if there are any bands from that part from Wales, South Wales in particular, listening in, then you know where to go.
He's awesome, man. You won't be disappointed. I'll tell you that. He's awesome.
So obviously, moving away from the studio briefly, you've obviously got a few gigs. Obviously, you had a gig Saturday night, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
But
was
you've
awesome.
got a gig at the Bunkhouse in Swansea, which I know is a really big venue in that part of the world. The
Yeah.
pub in Newport, and also as well the Thunderbolt in Bristol. So
Yes.
how excited are you? To be going back out again and being on the road.
I think that's my favorite thing about the music and stuff. As much fun as it is releasing songs, and being in the studio, that is great. But I think gigging and stuff, and just especially going to different places, that's my favorite part. I think
Yeah,
that's why everyone does it as well. Especially when people like, well, from Cardiff and they sing songs back that you've wrote. That's awesome. That's like my
yeah.
favorite thing. I'm really excited, really, really excited. Um, yeah, the first one I think is the Bunkhouse now. That should be great. That's been in the talks for so long, and eventually it's happening. So that should be great. We've got some awesome support as well for that, so that should be great. The pub should be awesome as well. That's like a week, just under, I think it's a week later. Yeah, it's literally a week later. Supporting Tom Morton, who's absolutely awesome, by the way. It's amazing. And then yeah, we got the Thunderbolt Bristol headline, which is announced, but
Yeah.
we got some awesome support on for that we're gonna announce probably either this week or next week. Got some awesome support lined up. Should be a good one as well. So know quite a few people down Bristol as well. We played Bristol a few times, so we won't say we have a massive following. We have a little bit of a following there, which is nice.
Yeah,
As you would hope so anyway, playing there a few times. But yeah, petrol money.
Yeah, make them come.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
mean, and obviously also as well, I know I don't think it's been announced yet, but you're obviously looking at playing a big hometown gig as well in December.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you can tell us about that on today's
Um,
podcast, or is it all very much under wraps?
it's in January actually now.
Oh,
I've
it's good.
changed
Oh,
it.
okay,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
okay.
Just for we like I mean like I said before, we've been a bit shit with music and stuff, like for a campaign with it and stuff. So
Yeah.
for this, yeah, it's January and it's gonna be awesome. The support's gonna be awesome as well. Yeah, it's gonna be very nice. Looking forward for that one. Really looking
Keeping the
forward.
card. Well, we kind of got a bit of an exclusive there with the date move,
Yeah.
but he's keeping his cards close to his chest.
Mm.
You can't knock me for trying, hey?
I'll tell you off camera in a minute. Mm. Yeah.
Brilliant, love it. And just on the subject there of like live gigs, have you or maybe anyone in the band got like a bit of a weird, or any sort of pre-gig rituals at all?
Um. Well, I don't know. Well, it's called getting absolutely steaming. I'm joking. Now we don't do that before. We don't do that before gigs. We've done that when we first started, and it always that's not the way to go. To be honest, really, if you're trying
Yeah,
to be professional and stuff. So not really, to be honest. I think it's just spoons, mate. Spoons, Weatherspoons, a little
yeah, yeah,
Weatherspoons before the gig. And if there's a green room, get the cans in, I guess, just a little bit, not too much, but
yeah.
not really, to be honest. I don't think we're the type of band that has an outfit waiting for them, and then they put the outfit on just before they go on stage, and no, we just wear this, we just wear the same clothes and stuff. But yeah, not really, not really a ritual, to be honest. One of my mates who does a bit of demos and stuff, we were working with him ages ago. He said, "Oh, why don't you have like a hot towel and stuff?" I was just like, "Nah, no, I'll just because then you overthink it, don't you, and stuff. So there's no point.
Yeah.
But there is no weird ritual, unfortunately. Maybe one day, maybe one day.
Do the gig and blow everyone away. That seems to be
Yeah,
the best way in my view, anyway. But
yeah.
and what about cover songs? Would you ever think about if there was one song that maybe you'd really fancy doing, like getting it in the set at all?
This has actually been in a talk for ages because when we first started, we like used to do like 3 covers and then 3 originals, which is just not the best. And this was like our first gig.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and I think it was Oasis, Stone Roses. It was Oasis, Supersonic, Stone Roses, Sally Cinnamon, and then what was the third one? I can't even remember. But we did one cover song at our club headline. We that was the first time we played a cover song in about 2 years. Because like people just kept saying do a cover. I was just like no, but we just gave
yeah,
in. And we've been thinking about just like maybe just doing one cover. The Sherlocks do it, don't they? I've seen the Sherlocks live. They did a Hey Jude, I think, when I've seen them.
yeah,
And then they did Stone Roses. I Want to Be Adored in Manchester the other night in
yeah. I
the
saw
Rips,
that.
I think.
Yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so I don't know. Maybe I'm not sure. We were actually having a discussion about this earlier. So I'm not too sure. But it's just I don't just want to do a random cover. I don't want to do an Oasis or Stone Roses because everyone does that.
yeah,
So we kind of just want to do like something a bit different, if that makes any sense.
yeah, yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
definitely.
but at the same time, you want to do a cover song that everyone knows as well, because otherwise there's no point of doing it.
No,
But
definitely. Yeah, he's trying to get that balance, I guess, really, isn't it? To
yeah,
maybe do a I nearly said Stone Roses, then and you just said you don't want to do that. Well, listen
I
there,
don't know.
Mark. Well done. No, I was going to say
Yeah.
maybe a Rolling Stones cover or something.
Oh
Chuck
yeah,
them in there, which is a bit.
that was in the chat before. We were gonna do I can't remember the name of the song now. Stereophonics covered it as well, and we were going to do the Stereophonics version of it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, the Rolling Stones one is a lot better, but I suppose it would fit us more because obviously we're from Cardiff.
Yeah.
They're from Wales as well. So yeah, I think that would be more up our sort of street. But yeah, like my lead guitarist is a massive Rolling Stones fan.
Right. Okay.
He loves. Obviously, he's a lead guitarist. He's gonna like his 60s, 70s, his blues and stuff. And then me, I just like everything. So
Yeah.
but
Sure. So
wide range.
what in terms, obviously we've mentioned the gigs, and obviously the last singles we said was back in May. Are there any plans at all to maybe get a new song out before
Yeah.
maybe even a couple of songs before the year's over?
Yeah, 100%. We're actually just finishing off this next single. This is probably the most song that has been like overthought so much.
Right.
The song actually started off in this attic when I was living here, like upstairs when my room was getting redone out, like back in like October 2020, something like that. That's when I wrote the tune.
Right. Wow.
I recorded a bit myself. I was doing all this experimental stuff. That's when Night Tomorrow came. So that is just a teaser of this song. This song that we're doing now was meant to be the next release, but only sometimes happened, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's mega. This one, it's a bit more psychedelic. I think it's got a bit of a psychedelic thing going on. A lot of experimentation going on as well. But yeah, we were hoping to get it released this month, but that's just not going to happen anymore because, like I said, we don't want to just release it and so that's fine. We want to proper make sure this one's good. It's the last song playing the set. This one's heavy. I really like this one.
Yeah. So, oh wow, that sounds really exciting, and definitely
Yeah.
can't wait to hear it. So there we go. We did manage to prize some exclusive news out of you.
Yes. Yeah. A little bit. It's called
And
Morning After. It's called Morning After. So there you go.
there you go. We'll put that in the in there as well as part of our preview bit for the show as well. So what would you say then is kind of like your proudest moment so far in music?
Uh, we've had a few people ask for autographs before, which is really strange.
Wow. Right. Okay.
Yeah, and like yeah, that was a bit weird. But I think it's when we played Shine, and I had like I was out like on the piss the whole weekend after we played. You know, watching Feeder and watching all the other bands. I tell you, what I seen the first time there was the Shakes. That's the first time I watched the
Right.
Shakes.
Yeah.
And they were awesome. Yeah, I had people coming up to me. Were you the guy on the stage the other day? I was like, oh yeah, I got your poster on my window in the room. I was just like, that's weird. That's really weird. But I think it's just when people sing songs back live.
Yeah.
That's what I really like as well. When people recognise you. I was out Saturday after the gig, and I was on Chippy Lane, which is like the street to go after a night out for food.
Yeah. Yeah. I know
And this
it far
random
too
girl just
well.
come up to me. This random girl just came up to me about, oh, you're in the band and stuff. I goes, yeah. I goes, you come tonight? She goes, no. So I was like, oh, whatever. So you didn't come tonight. I don't know. But nah, yeah. I think when people recognise you, that's a bit because Cardiff's quite small. That's the thing. It's the capital city of Wales, but it's still small, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's what it is when people recognise you and they sing your songs back. That's my proudest moment because I've put a lot of effort into this, and when people appreciate it, that does like go a long way.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm sure that you know, like knowing, like hearing that back as a fan, like that have come back to you as well. You know, like you said, oh, you know, you in the band and all that, and for you then to be saying, yeah, I really appreciate all the singing back, and that, I'm sure that would be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, you know, stick with the band because I think it's
100%.
important. Do you know what I mean? For
yeah,
to acknowledge the fans, because a lot of people.
That's 100%. If you're gonna be a bit weird with people, like if you're gonna get weirded out by it and stuff, at first you might be a bit weirded out by it because it's never happened to you before. But if you're gonna be like not nice to people who like stream your music and stuff, then there's no point doing it because at the end of the day they're your fans. So
Yeah.
Especially to the big bands as well out there. If you're assholes to your fans, they're the reason where you're at. So you gotta show some appreciation.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree with you more there. To be honest with you, and if you had a musical time machine and you could go back to any era of music, where would you go?
The 1300s. I'm joking. No. I don't know really. I love them all though. That's the thing. Like anywhere really from the 50s onwards. Like to be honest.
Yeah.
But the 90s looked amazing. To be fair, I think that's where I'd suit. I think that's where I look like I'm from the 90s anyway. So I think that's where I'd fit in more. 80s, I don't know if I had a mullet and stuff. I'm not sure if I'd really fit in, but yeah, 80s was cool. But I'd say the 90s, man, easily. Yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah,
great era that was
100%.
definitely. And
Yeah.
kind of like who then are your music? I mean, you've kind of answered it a little bit there, really. But who are your like musical inspirations? Who was like the person that you looked at, or persons, or maybe a specific band that you were like, right, I want to go and pick up that guitar, and I want to be in a band.
It all started off like basically by my parents brainwashing me as a young child with music. But um, I was a massive fan of the Doves for years, still am. That was my first concert when they supported Stereophonics. Didn't even stay for Stereophonics' set, which is bad. I was with my old man and I was young, and obviously I'm not sure if you've heard but when Stereophonics do a gig, it's just filled with fucking piss heads, man.
Yeah,
So and I was young, obviously, and we were sitting down, and then yeah, we just ended up watching the Doves and went home. But the Doves definitely played a massive part. And in this attic, when my dad used to like play all the Pink Floyd stuff for his surround sound system, that was wicked. But to be honest with you, it was actually U2, the band U2, and people
right.
when I tell people this, they're like so confused, like what's happened. But it was the early stuff. It was the early stuff. It was like the album War and stuff, and
Yeah,
the boy on the cover. But I watched U2 live at Red Rocks, and I was just like, I was fucking blown away, man. That's like what I want to do that, and that's why I picked up the guitar and stuff. That is the reason why I started doing it 100%. Jimi Hendrix is great as well, but I'm all right at guitar, but I'm the singer, and I just I'm there to play a little bit of background guitar, and that's about it, man. To be honest, I'm not the greatest guitar in the world. I'm so grateful I've got Tibo, otherwise we'd sound shit. But that's what it is.
and can you
Definitely my influence.
and I mean, to be fair, that's obviously a pretty cool reason. I think that
Yeah,
early. I think sort of probably, well, obviously when they did the weird thing with Apple, didn't they? I'm trying to remember what album was it. Cedarwood
yeah,
Road, which is a bit which confused a lot of people. Didn't know, obviously chucking that on everyone's iTunes
yeah.
free, and I think
I
they
thought it
just
was great because I was the only one in primary school who ever knew of U2 or ever heard of U2. And then when I could listen to it on school on all the iPads, I was like, yeah. Like when my teacher was obsessed, my teacher liked U2 as well, and he said, "Oh, I put it on there." I goes, "No, you didn't. Apple have done the thing, haven't they?" And but yeah, yeah, that was yeah. I don't know really. I didn't care really because I didn't mind it. I don't have to buy it or anything because I had the iPod back then. Um,
yeah,
back when I was still in primary. But yeah, it is what it is. They're giving you a free album. Be grateful.
yeah,
But
definitely.
and obviously, a lot of people hate U2 as well. So
Yeah, definitely. And I think the silly thing as well. I mean, I'm not sort of like like U2 and stuff, but I think with that album, if you actually listen to it, it's actually a good album. Like,
oh,
forget
it's
that it
great.
was free. Like, I think it's really good. It's definitely up there with
Yeah,
some of the the classics that they've done.
yeah. Breaking Wave, I think, was on that album. That was a great one. It was a Breaking Wave, I think so.
Yeah,
There's a song called Iris or something on that album as well. I think it's
yeah,
about his mother. That was great. And then The Miracle of Joe Ramoon or something. Was that
yeah,
it? Yeah, that was awesome.
that's right. Yeah,
Because I seen him live in the O2 in London when I was in year 7. That was when I was going high school and I thought I was Bono. Like, you know what I mean, but yeah, that was great. I literally had a T-shirt. My dad's mate got it done for me, and it was the cover of Under a Blood Red Sky, but it said under a Welsh sky or something like that, and it had the dates
quality.
of the O2. So that was I still got that somewhere, and it
Yeah,
still
yeah,
fits me because I had it really baggy back
right.
then. It's now my pajama top. Um, but yeah, that was a great gig. They opened up with the Miracle of Joe Ramoon, and I remember my dad was by me, and he was saying, "You're not excited?" And I was like, I am." And he's like, "They weren't on yet." You know what I mean? Like I couldn't really take it all in. And when they just come on stage and went, "Dan," I was like, I lost it because the lighting and stuff as well. Because yeah, it was great. It's a great venue as well. Do you know what I mean? The O2, bloody hell.
Yeah, it's a great venue, and as you just
Yeah.
touched on there, the obviously it is a rock and roll gig that they put on. I'm sure
Mm.
there's loads that have probably seen U2 before, but obviously it is a rock and roll gig. But you get that sort of like added extra. Do you know what I mean? If you just
Yeah.
there with the light show, and I saw them years ago at I see him Etihad Stadium years ago, which was fantastic, and that blew me away with the lights. Wasn't expecting that at all. I think they probably need a little bit more respect than maybe what they get at times. I think.
Yeah, I think because obviously when they came really mainstream, but at the same time, if that was you, you'd be loving it. So, but obviously the early U2 stuff is what I like the most. But I still like the Joshua Tree's great as well. That was a bit later. I can't remember what year Acton Baby was, but that's good. Yeah, I know quite a few of their albums. Got them on vinyl and stuff. They're awesome. But yeah, they do deserve. They still got their loyal fans, but people who haven't actually listened to U2, they're a bit more just like, oh, they're shit, whatever. They never actually listen to them. But it makes me laugh. They're the same people screaming Inhaler, and they don't even know that
who he
Bob
is.
Bono's his dad. So it honestly makes me laugh. But Inhaler are great as well. They're a great band as well. That Inhaler, they're awesome. Seen them live in the Tram Shed about 2 years ago, and they only had a few songs released back then. And then they were singing songs that are now like everyone knows and sings, and no one was singing them back because they weren't released. But that was an awesome show. When they played My Honest Face, it just kicked off. Like it was just like mosh pit everywhere.
Yeah, sure. And sort of you've kind of just touched on with U2 there, like having the vinyl and stuff. So can you kind of like maybe remember either like the first album or single that you purchased?
On vinyl.
Well, anything really. But if you could remember more than just the first one, then great.
I still do it now, but charity shops and stuff. I had a few CDs and stuff. I think I bought a Cast album or something.
Yeah.
Because my dad already has it, but I was just like, oh, let me have it. So I bought one of them. What was my first vinyl? I honestly can't remember. To be completely honest with you, I've got a lot of old vinyls and I got like a lot of new ones and stuff, but I won't lie, I prefer going to like vintage record shops instead of going HMV. Like HMV is cool and stuff, but it's quite pricey. You can find some like massive bargains in all the vintage record shops and stuff.
Yeah.
It might have been a U2. I wouldn't have been a U2 one. I think I was definitely from Kelly's Records. I can't remember which one it was. It was Kelly's Record, Cardiff Market. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember which one it was, but I've got quite a few. I've obviously got Stone Roses and stuff like that. I cannot tell you. I cannot remember. Started collecting vinyls at quite a young age.
Yeah, sure. And in terms of if you were able to put on a like a musical festival consisting of your 5 favorite bands or solo artists, who would you add to the bill? And likewise, sorry, that's for like sort of new upcoming bands.
Okay.
And likewise, which 5 bands that are kind of like established would you choose?
Okay, so 5 up and coming bands, the Malakites.
You got to put them in there.
Oh, that's good. Trying to think. Up and coming bands. I'm gonna just be very nice to people now. Which is a big bit. I'm gonna answer the mainstream one first, I reckon.
Yeah,
is that all right?
Yeah, that's good. Go for it. Yeah.
Foo Fighters, Oasis, just because I want to see them live as a full band. It might not even be good, to be honest, but them, Stone Roses, 100%. Trying to think who else. Trying to actually think. It's a big question, man. I think there's so many bands out there. I don't even know. The Lads, yes, because they got together for a little bit, and they split back up. Obviously, Cast are great, but I would love to see the Lads. And then Shaq, maybe Shaq. I don't know. Shaq are cool as well. That's changed so much. Foo Fighters, and then gone down to Shaq and stuff, which is crazy. A lot of different sounds, but yeah, I'll see them a lot. And then for up and coming bands, Malakites, probably say Paso. They're awesome. I think a band that can I say a band that split up? They were up and coming.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah,
A band called Vida from Scotland. They were
yeah,
awesome. Seen them live once. Um, they'll go on the bill 100%. Another Scottish band, the Shambolics. They were awesome. I think they're
yeah,
still together. I think they are.
yeah. They are the Shams. Yeah, they're still going strong.
Oh, that's awesome. Because they were signed to Alan McGee's record, weren't it?
Yeah,
I
that's
think.
right. Yeah,
Um, uh, Papa Jupes TC from Cardiff. They're absolutely awesome. My drummer plays for them as well. They're actually mental, mate. They're like very bluesy, but then their front man is John Lydon. It's different. It's in a good way. Like it's awesome. Is that 5 now?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's
Okay.
5. Yeah, 5. So 5 for the established bands and 5 as well for the new bands. And I'm sure that you'd get a lot of takers going on to them festivals,
Yeah.
2 separate.
Oh, hopefully. I have to do a lot of promotion for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and obviously, I'm sure that the Malakites would be headlining the new band bill.
Yeah, that one would definitely sell out, but I'm not sure about the Foo Fighters and stuff. They might struggle to sell out for that one. But yeah, yeah.
Love it, love it. Unfortunately, that is the end of the latest This Is the Music Meets podcast. Thank you very much for coming on and giving up your evening. I've had a
No worries, man.
great time. It's been really good getting to know you a little bit more personally, and obviously the very exciting things that the Malakites have got coming up. Well, in the next sort of what's about five months or so with
Yeah,
gigs and obviously a new single coming out as well, which I personally can't wait
that's gonna be
to
good. Yeah.
hear. But just before you do go, can you let the listeners know where on social media they can find the Malakites?
We're on everything. Facebook and Instagram is the Malakites _official. Twitter, capital T, capital M for Malakites. We're on Spotify, YouTube. Honestly, just type in the Malakites, you'll come up. It might some other stuff might come up as well with the Bible. Don't know what that's about. But yeah, we're on everything, man. Literally, drop us a follow, drop us a like and share. We're on everywhere. So yeah.
Great
So
stuff.
yeah.
We'll obviously include those links in the episode bio, along with as well the upcoming gig dates that we spoke about earlier on in the episode as well, which I believe that there are a very limited number of tickets. So if you are
Yeah.
listening before the October and November dates, then make sure you get a ticket because having seen some of the videos doing the rounds of the gig from Saturday night, it looks like the
Yeah.
lads put on a great show.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
think
good.
anyone will be disappointed.
Considering we're on first as well. Big lot of people.
Hey, that's
But
what you want. That's what you want, and then
yeah,
it take you on to the bigger stages. You know what I mean? So,
100%,
and
100%, man. It's
fair,
planned.
fair play to everyone for getting down early as well, because that's always important at this early stage. All that leaves me to say is thank you to everyone for tuning in, and thank you to the Malakites once again for coming on. I will see you all somewhere down the road.